rule with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call, please.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Hayward.
Here.
Hill is excused. Scharf.
Here.
O'Loughlin.
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is oath of office. Dustin, did you want to do any introduction or any explanation before I do that?
All right. Jason Orr. I'd like to introduce him as one of our reserves. He's going through the process right now of becoming a reserve. There's modules he has to take before he can actually get it out and on the road and start working. So being trained that direction, he's got 3 of them done so far. I think there's 3 left. Once he's done with that, we'll go through the training process like a regular field training for an officer and then go from there. So tonight he is here to be sworn in so he can actually start taking the test for his modules that he's taken, and we keep going through the process. So.
Because you have a new thing with the state that they have to be sworn in before they can take those tests or something.
Yes,
Is there
in
a
the past, it
change?
used to be they could take all their modules first and be done with them before they had to be sworn in. Now they have to be sworn in and everything before they take the test. So the modules he has taken, he hasn't taken the test for, so he needs to be sworn in now so that he can take the test for them. So we can
Okay.
continue to go with that.
All righty.
So.
Will you raise your right hand, please? Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jason Ford,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
do the best of my ability
do the best of my ability,
discharge all duties of the position of patrol officer
discharge all duties of the position of patrol officer
in the City of Independence
in the City of Independence,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations. Welcome
you.
aboard.
Let's have another handshake there, if you would, for the camera. Thank you, Johnson.
You need one too?
You want to turn your,
Yeah.
Get an
Got your
orange
copy?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Let you have that.
Thank you.
Okay then. Next, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Scharf, seconded by O'Loughlin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. We have nobody that's signed in for public comment. So the next thing on the agenda is a motion to accept and approve the consent agenda that approves the following: the minutes of the September 24th, 2018 regular meeting, Fire Department financials for the month of September, Fairway Stores Incorporated ownership change, Fairway Stores Incorporated Class B wine permit, Class C beer permit, and Class E liquor license, November 16th, 2018 through November 15th, 2019. Stacy's Checkered Flag Class C and Sunday sales liquor license, October 21st, 2018 through October 20th, 2019. And Pizza Hut number 4694, Class B beer and Sunday sales liquor license, December 9th, 2018 through December 8th, 2019.
If it's okay, could we have that read the October 8th regular meeting minutes, because that's what's attached to your packet.
Okay, rather than September 24th? Okay. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Scharf,
Second.
seconded by Kurtz. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is approval of the claims for payment.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Kurt, seconded by
Second.
Vaughn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Next on our agenda is Independence Police Department Officer Lau. Would you please step forward? We always look forward to your reports.
Always so exciting. Well, since last month, we're still working at finishing up on our junk properties and our junk vehicles for the city. Trying to get those, I've got probably a handful I'm still working on, trying to get those done before the weather changes and we get kind of locked until spring. I know we're under the proclamation of the mayor right now for burning. I haven't actually seen a lot of burning happening yet. I don't know if it's just because it was so wet and now the leaves are finally starting to kind of really fall, but we'll kind of probably have a little bit more of that in the next week or so, and we'll kind of be monitoring that to make sure people are burning in the appropriate ways that they're supposed to, and also not placing their leaves and other things out in the road. But like I said, the last couple of years, it's been a lot better than what we started with, so I'm optimistic that this year will be yet another good year for it. So other than that, I haven't had anything new. Like I said, I just trying to get done with the 5 or 6 that I'm dealing with, following up on new complaints that come in and getting those handled in a timely manner. And like I said, just not looking forward to winter. So,
Okay.
Anybody have anything over the last month that they've been, I guess, approached with that maybe we haven't visited about already? So,
Any comments?
I had a call on, a guy had a vehicle in his yard, and I didn't know what the rules and regulations were on that, but I mean, he kind of had a deadline of only just a few days to get it up and running.
okay, if it's the one that I'm thinking of, it's in the northwest.
Yes.
That one there, actually, he had 2 weeks to get that vehicle removed. He came to me after, well, actually, there was a little bit of between me and him and the city manager and him and other people trying to kind of get around the situation, so that way he wouldn't have to conform to the city ordinance. After the 2-week period, he came to me and asked me, he says, hey, well, what am I going to do, you know? I said, well, I said, you need to get the vehicle up and running, prove to me that it's a valid vehicle to be driven down the street. It had a broken windshield, multiple parts on it were broken and fallen off. The thing was sunk probably 8 inches down into the ground with flat tires. I said, by simply registering that vehicle after the fact, I just said, it's not a defense to a junk vehicle. Explained how he could make it legal, and I actually agreed to give him 2 more weeks on top of that. So by the time his time frame came, it was actually a whole month later, and then I actually had contact with him just the other day. He's now supposed to be having Schaefer Scrap come pick the car up, and it was supposed to get removed today. So he had a month and then yet probably another week, so ample time anyway. But of course,
I might have got a different story.
but of course, and that's usually how it goes. Yeah, everybody gets a different story as to what the actual facts are, so that way it seems different. But I've worked with him, like I said, for the last month and probably a week. So, and I'm still working with him. Like I said, he's supposed to have had them there today to get that car removed. So,
Okay.
I think I might have got a phone call from the same gentleman, I'm not sure, and he kept questioning who makes these laws, and
Right.
I explained that the city council has to approve all the ordinances and laws, and that you are the one that they've got to enforce them, and that since he'd been working with you, he should continue and listen to what you tell him, and he'd probably be better off.
yes,
So,
and there was a lot of people that were contacted and questions asked and different things said. And like I said, the easiest thing is to direct them and say, you know,
Yep.
get a hold of Officer Lau, have a conversation with Officer Lau. He's really easy to work with.
Yep.
You know, and if they do that from the beginning, but I think this particular individual knew he was just trying to find a way around it so he wouldn't have to conform to what our ordinance is. But
Yeah.
at this point in time, fingers crossed, it is supposed to be, or was supposed to be removed today, so I'll be checking on that tomorrow.
Now, if you find it's not, does he get fined then?
If it's
or-
not removed, he would actually be issued a citation where he would have to appear in court. The fine amount for a first offense could be up to $750. However, that's a maximum. The judge is the one who actually sets the fine. And the way that we kind of operate is if we can get that vehicle removed prior to court, because he'll go up and he'll plead and he'll have a court date that might be a month away. If come court date, I go back to the property, that property's cleaned up, whether that be a junk vehicle or other type abatement issues, I mean, that's our main goal, is to solve the problem and get that off the property. So if it is, a lot of times, I work with the city attorney's office, and we work on an agreement to where they can pay their court costs and everything, and then we get rid of that fine amount for them, you know, but still impose at least to cover the city what we've had to pay out for it. But now they're not getting that bigger fine amount. And most of the time, people are happy with that, and it's just one more tool that we can use to get that property cleaned up.
Great.
So,
Well, you do a good job, and I appreciate it.
thank you.
So we all do. Thank you. All righty.
Thanks, Brian.
See you next month. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is going into public hearing. I need a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Scharf, seconded by
Second.
Kurtz. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Need a motion to hold the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Scharf,
Second.
second by O'Laughlin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. We are now in public hearing in regards to proposed plan specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the wastewater system upgrade project. Don't know that there's anybody out there that wants to speak on this. Is there any comments any of the council needs to make, or did you get anything?
I have not received anything.
Okay.
I will tell you, the city attorney's office has reviewed the form of contract, and we've addressed their questions, and everything is up to snuff there.
Okay. Well, hearing none, I will take a motion to close the hearing and receive and file oral and written comments.
So moved.
Motion by Scharf, seconded by,
Second.
I'm not sure, I heard O'Laughlin, I guess the best. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Moving on to the next item. I need a motion to approve a resolution confirming and approving plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate for the wastewater system upgrade project.
So moved.
Motion by Kurtz.
Second.
I'm going to give it to Hayward. So that you both kind of harmed in together. I need a roll call on this one, please.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Scharf,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is consideration of bids for the wastewater system upgrade project.
We had two bidders, WRH from South Amana bid $837,600. Shank Construction out of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota bid $906,300.
I had a question on that. With the adjustment price, number one, mortar joint, number two, sealant joint, three, masonry joint, the adjustment price for WRH is higher than it is for Shank Constructors. Will that impact the final price?
It will potentially impact the final price, but not substantially. We did have a square footage identified in the contract for tuck pointing, brick repair, if you will. But we also had them bid a unit price, so we don't have to worry about that after the fact for a change order. It's a matter of if we have more space than what was identified in the contract as they get into it, we already know what those costs are.
They'll do it for 80 cents, for example, the $80 for the masonry.
Per square foot, right. And so that's just predetermined as we get into it, if there's more space or more square footage. Likewise, if the amount identified is greater than what actually has to be done, we already have that deduct identified.
So do we need a motion to approve the
We need-
lower bid?
We
or-
need a motion to award the bid. My recommendation and Fox Engineering's recommendation is WRH from South Amana.
So moved.
Motion by Scharf, seconded by
Second.
O'Laughlin. Do you need a roll call on this?
yes, please. Hayward,
Yes.
Scharf,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Okay, does that take care of number D?
yes.
Okay. So next on the agenda is the Lover's Lane lift station quote. Motion? Motion to approve competitive quote from Electric Pump for $55,790.
Was the total cost 66,000 for this, for the Lovers Lane?
The estimate was 90,000 for this project, the engineer's opinion of cost. We did competitive quotes on this. This is part of the wastewater treatment plant upgrade as well, but we broke this out for competitive quotes, which we're allowed to do under this scenario. And Electric Pump is the company that does most of our work at the lift station. They've been doing the maintenance. It's just right-sizing the pumps to match the flow. This will be included in the SRF loan, as is the wastewater plant upgrades.
So the 66,450 would be in addition to the 830?
No, the other two bids. The original bid was $55,790 from Electric Pump. We received two other bids, one for $66,450 and one for $65,000. Those were the other competitive bids, just showing the difference in the bids.
I make a motion to approve the electric pump bid of $55,790.
Second.
Motion by Hayward, seconded by Kurtz. What I heard? Okay. Roll call, please.
Scharf,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next is the motion to approve Fox Engineering wastewater plant construction management task order.
With Fox Engineering, we've been doing it on an hourly basis as far as the engineering, design, and bid document preparation. This is the construction management piece of the project. It's the next task, if you will, in their order of business.
I'd make a motion.
Motion by Kurtz,
Second?
second by O'Loughlin. Roll call, please.
Scharf,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is going into public hearing, a motion to receive and proof of publication of notice of public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Scharf,
Second.
seconded by Kurtz. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Then I need a motion to hold the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Scharf, second by O'Loughlin. Again, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Then we are in public hearing and proposal to vacate Chapter 137.02, public hearing of 11th Street Northeast.
On the curve on 11th Street Northeast, there is approximately 2,185 feet of right-of-way that is, well, the way the properties were originally platted, they're in square blocks or rectangles. The street has a curve. It creates this 2,185 square feet of right-of-way that we would consider potentially excess. We've been asked to consider vacating it to allow for additional construction of commercial property.
Did you receive any comments?
I did not.
Okay. Is there anything from the council?
I'm confused on this. When this came up before, we had an aerial picture of it, and I thought the piece that was shown was different than this piece. I thought it ran more north and south instead of east and west. Is the east end of this little chunk, this little triangle piece that we're talking about, does that go in front of that property owner's property on Lot 9, it looks like?
No, this should, this goes to the east property line of Bachman's existing property. You'll notice that there is a stretch between the proposed property line and I guess Lot 9 has a jog in it an L shape.
Yes.
There is a remaining gap or void in there that is in front of the other property owner's house that is not part of this.
Okay. Is there maybe a fire hydrant on that?
There is a fire hydrant on that property in front of Estes property on that corner, yes.
Okay.
We had looked at that in the Public Works Department. We actually went out and took a tour of it, and it looks like it makes a lot of sense after you really take a look at it. It's hard to tell from the drawing, but
This is the legal description that you have in front of you tonight that identifies the space that's being requested, that does match the drawing that you had originally seen. But this does, again, it's just that part that's directly adjacent to Bachman Engineering. And this was recommended by Planning and Zoning for approval at this description.
So Bachman owns part of Lot 9 to that dashed line.
I'll pull it up here quick just to make sure. But yes, there's a, yes, that is accurate. There is a small stretch, as it's depicted here, that leans into Block 9 as you see it on your description. That is part of Bachman Engineering.
Okay.
Any other comments? Anybody out there that needs a comment? Hearing none, I will make a motion to close the hearing and receive and file oral and written comments.
So moved.
Motion by Scharf, seconded by
Kurtz.
Kurtz. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. That takes us on to a resolution authorizing, motion to approve a resolution for the covenants of real property on 11th Street Northeast.
So moved.
Motion by Scharf,
Second.
second by Vaughn.
How do we base this price?
This is based off of a square footage price of the adjacent property. We looked at the land value of that property adjacent to it, put it against the square footage of this parcel. That was recommended by the city attorney's office, and it's pretty consistent.
I thought maybe we could use the amount we paid for the 2.5 acres for Enterprise Drive as the.
I tried. No, we had to base it off the adjacent property, and it's just a square footage cost, nothing magic. There is, in this case, Bachman's did pay for the survey, or the creation of the survey and the parcel, legal description. So what you have is the fair market value, which we're required to charge, the $1,003.27. In addition to that, there are some legal fees that will be associated with it and recording fees that will also be included in the sales price.
Okay, roll call, please.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Scharf.
Yes.
Thank you, motion is carried. Next, I have motion to approve a okay, we didn't switch yet here. On West Street. Okay, motion to approve a resolution for covenants of real property on West Avenue.
We
Do I
did
hear-
receive one bid on the property of West Avenue. It's a street right-of-way, if you will, that we own. These folks own the property on both the east and west side of it along the vast majority of it. I think there's one corner where somebody else touches it, but The minimum bid on this was $2,778, based on the city paid for the survey to create the legal description and the fair market value of, again, the square footage cost of the property.
I'd make a motion.
Motion by Kurtz, seconded by
Second.
Scharf. A roll call, please.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Scharf,
Yes.
O'Loughlin.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is a wage adjustment for Doug Cook.
Effective November 12th, Doug Cook is resigning as fire chief and resigning from the fire department as mandated by the state of Iowa for public safety officers when they reach the age of 65. At that point, Doug will be the building inspector through the end of the year, but the wage adjustment moves him from a salaried position to an hourly position, and $24.02 per hour will be the new rate based on what he's currently earning under a salary position as building inspector.
What did he receive as fire chief?
$12,490 a year.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by O'Loughlin,
Second.
second by Hayward. Is that who I heard? Kurtz, I'm sorry. I have to distinguish guys' voices or something. Roll call, please.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Scharf,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. That leads us to the next item, which is a wage adjustment for Dick Newton, who will be taking over as fire chief.
This wage adjustment is based on Richard Newton becoming the fire chief on November 12th. He is currently an hourly employee. We looked at the comparables for fire chiefs for communities our size that have a similar setup as to what we have. We felt it was the most reasonable to take Dick to the current wage of fire chief, of the current fire chief, which is 2402.08 biweekly. It's a salaried position, not an hourly, and that would be consistent with where Mr. Cook was. And it does not use up all of the $12,490 that was earmarked for Mr. Cook under the fire chief's salary. But again, it seems like an appropriate wage to start Mr. Newton at.
You all do know Richard Newton is?
Pardon?
You all know who he is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by O'Loughlin, second.
I second it.
Second by Vaughn. Roll call, please.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Scharf,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next on the adjustment, or the agenda, is resolution to access property owners for Chapter 52 mowing of properties, failure to comply.
I would make the second.
Motion by Hayward, second by Kurtz. Does that need a
Yes, please.
roll call?
Hayward,
Yes.
Scharf,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next, under new business, First Street East updated discussion.
Dan Kimball is here to address the council and talk further about First Street East.
Thanks, Al. Sorry about my voice. I'm still trying to get it back. As Al knows, last week I'm struggling a little bit. We met with the DOT last Wednesday on the 17th. They did provide us with comments of our check plans that we sent in early September. Those comments did come in fairly late. We received some comments actually 5 minutes before our meeting that day, so they were kind of hard to address. But we have worked through those comments. Some of the main concerns they had, which is kind of a new comment, was on the potential lead line water surfaces through the downtown area. We kind of talked through it with them at the meeting, and they suggested that we talk to their right-of-way folks because they were concerned about the potential of getting on private property to do that work. Our initial suggestion was to do a right-of-entry agreement with those property owners. Since it's their call, they can decide if they want to replace that line from the curb and gutter into their business. They can say no. So we looked at handling it with the right-of-entry agreement, since they're the ones that will decide if you can be on their property or not. At the meeting, the DOT wasn't ready to sign off on that. Since the meeting on Wednesday, we talked to the right-of-way folks, and they are in agreement that that seems like a logical step to go. So at this time, what we're looking at doing is putting a letter together to discuss what we know based on finding the lead line services to all the property owners in the project area, letting them know the situation, potential health hazards for that, letting them know that they have the option to replace it as part of this construction. Some of the things we need to work through are if we're going to just require them to pay for that outright, or if the city would like to look at some type of voluntary assessment. So instead of having them have to come up with all the cash, is there, a payment period, or can they be assessed over time? And we also need to work through the right of entry agreement language. It'll have to go through a legal review for that, but it'll be something that will go out with the letter that the property owners, if they agree to do this, they will need to sign that, so the contractor has the right to get on their property and actually complete the work. Because of these changes coming in at late like this, we just looking at it and having to get the approval of the DOT, we are looking at pushing it to a February letting instead of January. As far as the construction timeline, nothing changes there. That all stays the same. January and February lettings, we don't anticipate any differences in bid prices in those months. We're still well enough away from the start of construction season that there shouldn't be any issues on that end. But this gives us a little more time to notify the property owners in the affected area and gives them a chance to respond so we can get those into the plans and get that out.
Is there an estimate of cost for, like, the individual property owners? What would it cost to replace it to their?
Just looking at it, we did talk to a couple contractors. What we're estimating, and it's all going to kind of depend on the final bid and how many citizens actually, if we get 5, it's going to be a lot more expensive. If we get 30, it's going to be a lot cheaper. But $1,500 to $2,000 for that, and we're looking at anywhere between probably 15 to 20 feet to bore under that new sidewalk area in the downtown area, and then you're looking at the hookup fee to actually hook it to the meter, the new line that would be bored in there.
Is this just the first 3 or 4 blocks from the river going east?
You would be looking at anything where the new sidewalk is. So the majority of the services are, yes, from the Watson-Pinnakin up to 4th Avenue is where the majority of your services. There are a couple services, like City Hall and things like that are past that. But the majority of them are concentrated in that first 2-block area.
Okay.
How much did you say it would cost to bore?
Rough estimates would be between $1,500 to $2,000 to bore it in and then reconnect it. To bore it under, through the wall, and then reconnect them. Because you'd have to hire a certified or a registered plumber to come in, licensed plumber to come in and hook that up as well. That would be a requirement.
I think being able to offer an assessment option for the property owners would probably be the best way to go, to let them spread it out over time if they so choose.
And that would be something we'd have to work that, the city would have to work on drawing something like that up to get that. But
And they could pay the whole thing if they want, but at least give them the opportunity for the assessment.
It'll probably get more people willing to do
yeah, I mean,
it.
this is, and we can word the letter like that, but it's going to be a lot cheaper now to replace it than if we put the new street in, you have the new sidewalk, and then all of a sudden something happens to that surface. They're going to have to rip up the sidewalk in a portion of the street, the curb and gutter portion of the street, and then put the new surface. So You'll be paying for the service plus replacing the concrete that you had to rip up at that time. And, you know, some of the property owners may have already replaced their services that we're not aware of, and then they would just decline the option. And, you know, we're not forcing them. This isn't a force, you know, they're not forced to change it. If they don't want to change it, we gave them the opportunity to change it.
And once the street is open or that's open, you'll know whether it is that material that needs to be replaced or not?
I mean,
Tell from
once it's uncovered, you can get a good idea. The problem is some of these materials change. I mean, it could be half of the line could be one material and half of it could be another. There's valves currently in the sidewalk itself where that valve is. It could be different materials on either side, and we won't know that because that'll be under the new sidewalk that we don't want to rip up.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the recommended changes for First Street East project.
So moved.
Motion by Kurtz. Who did I hear? Second by O'Laughlin. Roll call, please. Thank you.
Shar,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Oh, yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried.
Just a real quick update to tag into that. The Malone Creek Bridge did come up briefly in our conversation on Wednesday, and visiting with the engineer there is a water line that is close to where they're driving the footings for the new bridge. They're still working on the exact location of it. They're within 10 feet, but that's too close to really be comfortable at this point. And they're looking to match the February bid letting on the bridge as well. The plans are basically ready to go, but they'd prefer to know exactly where that water line is and make any changes to the plan, and I think that would be prudent. So I anticipate that being a February letting as well.
Okay, next I have engineering services agreement for Enterprise Drive East.
We do have a fully executed purchase agreement with Casey's on the property. I would ask for you to consider an engineering services agreement with Crawford Engineering to design and create bid documents for Enterprise Drive East. It's approximately 600 feet of extension from Highway 150 to the east, and we can have that ready to bid. We would not bid that until we actually close on the property, but at this point, everything as far as our agreements have been met, and I would like to get that designed so that they can get it bid and start construction as early in the spring as possible.
I'd make a motion.
Motion by Kurtz,
Second.
second by Hayward. Roll call.
Shar,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. Next, a motion to decommission is it Cheney lift located in City Hall after annual maintenance inspection deemed it inoperable due to damaged guide rollers.
We need the council's permission to take this lift out of commission to stop utilizing it. If you so do, Schumacher will notify the state that this lift is no longer viable, it's no longer in operation, so we don't have to conduct the annual inspection. Before it could pass inspection this year, it would take a $6,100 repair bill. So at this point, our recommendation is to decommission it. We do have the ramp that will be open shortly and the access on the front of the building with the handicap doors.
So this won't impact our ADA standard?
It does not, because again, we have the ramp and we have the ADA doors on the front that they're in process. I know they're not there today, but
Right.
we're in that direction, so we would be fine doing that.
I'd make the motion.
Motion by Kurtz,
I'd second it.
second by O'Laughlin. Roll call, please.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Shar.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. So now we have a possible closed session per Iowa Code 21.5, 1 J, to discuss the purchase or sale of particular real estate. Do we have ability to do that? I'm supposed to check with you to,
I'm presuming this is a follow-up on our last meeting's
Yes.
meeting, and in that case, yes, we do.
okay. So we will be going into closed session. We have actually 2 closed sessions, and we decided with the agenda that when we come out of the second one, we will just go to adjournment. That way you guys will not have to wait out there to come back in because we'll be adjourning after the closed sessions, so. Thank you.
You want me to look after this for you, John?